Would you treat a gate man with respect, if you didn't know he was your boss in disguise? In this African folktale, one man's test reveals the true hearts of his people. The dry wind of Chuka whistled through the tall palm trees that lined the front of Okeke Holdings. It was one of the largest companies in the entire region, a massive empire dealing in agriculture, real estate, and export. Farmers, traders, and dignitaries from other towns often visited to do business with the company. It was said that its owner, Chief Nnamdi Okeke, could build a palace with a single day's profit if he wished. Chief Nnamdi was a man of immense wealth, power, and mystery. In public, he wore expensive agbada adorned with coral beads, carried a walking stick carved from Irako wood, and always moved with a small entourage of assistants. In the village square, people whispered that he was as wise as a tortoise and as cunning as the wind. He had built the company from a small palm kernel trade into a mighty enterprise. But one thing he feared more than anything was betrayal, the kind that crept silently, wearing a smile. He knew wealth was like honey, it attracted both bees and ants. And so, one Harmattan morning, an idea struck him, an idea both dangerous and brilliant. If you wish to know the heart of a person, his late father had once said, remove your crown and sit with them in the sand. That morning, Chief Nnamdi decided he would become the gate man at his own company. Not to play a childish trick, but to see the true hearts of those who ate from his table. The sun had not yet climbed high when Chief Nnamdi summoned his most trusted confidant, Mama Ebel, the elderly housekeeper who had served him for 25 years. She had watched his children grow, cooked for ministers who came visiting, and knew when the chief was plotting something unusual. She entered the room slowly, her gray head tie neatly wrapped, her back slightly bent from years of service, but her eyes still sharp like the blade of a newly forged cutlass. Chief, she greeted, bowing slightly. May the ancestors continue to strengthen your hands. Amen, Mama Ebel, Chief replied. Sit down. I need your old wisdom. She sat and adjusted her wrapper. When you say it like that, Chief, it means something serious is brewing. Chief Nnamdi leaned forward, his gold rings glinting in the soft light. I have built this company with my blood and sweat. But lately, I feel strange winds. The smiles I see may not be genuine. My managers, my staff, even the security men. I want to know who they are when the lion is not watching. Mama Ebel nodded slowly. And how do you intend to find that out, my son? He smiled mischievously, the way a tortoise does before outsmarting a hunter. I will disguise myself as a gate man, a poor unknown man. I will watch them closely. I want to see how they treat the one they believe is beneath them. Mama Ebel gasped softly. A dangerous plan, but a wise one. A servant's ear hears what a king's ear cannot. They both sat in silence for a moment as the wind rustled through the banana leaves outside. Then Chief Nnamdi spoke again. I will need your help to keep this a secret. Only you and Ikenna Abaka, my personal assistant, will know. Not even my children. For 3 weeks, I will live as Papa Sunday, the new gate man. May the spirits guide you, Mama Ebel whispered. 3 days later, a thin, wrinkled man with a patched brown uniform appeared at the front gate of Okeke Holdings. His beard was rough, and his walking stick looked older than a tortoise shell. His eyes were sharp, but his body carried the weariness of many years. That man was no other than Chief Nnamdi. With the help of a skilled makeup artist from the nearby town, he had completely transformed his appearance. His expensive perfumes were replaced with the scent of palm oil and sweat. His Rolex was locked away, replaced by an old wooden bead bracelet. He arrived at the gate before sunrise, long before the real workers. Mr. Bala, the head of security, squinted at him suspiciously. You are the new gate man, eh? Bala asked, crossing his arms. Yes, sir, Nnamdi replied in a cracked voice. Dem tell me say make I come start work. Bala looked him up and down, then snorted. You look like old goat, but let's see how you go manage. This work no be for soft people. And just like that, the richest man in the company became the lowest ranked staff. He was given an old wooden chair beside the gatehouse and a whistle with a frayed rope. From his post, he could see everything, the way people entered, the way they spoke to the gate man, the way they behaved when no one was watching. And they could not see him. By mid-morning, the company gates were busy. The first to arrive was Ngozi Uma, the secretary to the managing director. She wore a tight skirt, high heels that clicked like a woodpecker, and an air of arrogance as if she owned the ground she walked on. "Gate man!" she barked, not even looking at him. "Open the gate quickly, Jair." "I don't have time." Nnamdi rose slowly, pretending to limp, and opened the gate. She didn't say thank you. He watched her strut inside with her head high like a peacock. First face revealed. Next came Mr. Ojo Adewale, the accountant. A short, round man who was always sweating, even when it wasn't hot. He carried a small cooler of food and a bag that clinked softly with coins and keys. He looked at Nnamdi and said, "Old Papa, you better work fast. If you make me late, I go report you." He also didn't smile. Second face revealed. But not everyone was cruel. Around noon, one of the cleaners, a young woman named Amara, approached the gate with a bottle of cold water in her hand. "Papa," she said gently, "you don't look too strong. Drink small water." Nnamdi accepted the water, touched. "God bless you, my daughter." She smiled shyly and returned to her duties. Third face, kind and humble. For 3 days Nnamdi watched. The higher someone's position in the company, the ruder they seemed to be to him. But those at the bottom, the cleaners, the gardeners, the cooks, treated him with respect. Some even called him Papa Sunday, offering him food. He made notes in a small torn exercise book. No one suspected who he really was. On the 4th day, something happened that changed everything. At exactly 8:15 a.m., a delivery truck arrived at the gate. It was carrying expensive fertilizers meant for a government contract. Nnamdi, as gate man, checked the weighbill carefully. He noticed the driver had offloaded only half of what was on the list. "Driver," he said in his cracked voice, "this fertilizer no reach the number for paper." The driver smirked. "Papa, just sign am." "Nah, so we day do am." Nnamdi's heart burned like pepper. "No. I no go sign." The driver whistled, and 2 men came from behind the truck. Before Nnamdi could react, Mr. Bala, the head of security, appeared, smiling like a thief in the night. "Papa Sunday," Bala said, placing a hand on his shoulder. "No day do pass yourself. Sign the paper, make the truck enter. You SEF go chop something." Then Bala brought out a small brown envelope and waved it in front of him. "See? Your own share." For a moment, Nnamdi almost revealed himself. His blood boiled. So this was how the fertilizer went missing every month. But he controlled himself. "I know they collect bribe," he said. Bala's face darkened. "Old man, you want form holy pass everybody for here? If you no sign, I go make sure dem sack you before tomorrow." Nnamdi looked straight at him. "Do your worst." In the end, Bala forced the truck in, but Nnamdi quietly wrote down everything in his exercise book, truck number, time, and Bala's words. "The tortoise may walk slowly," he thought, "but it sees the hunter's footsteps." Word spread fast inside the company. The new gate man was stubborn. Some called him holier than thou. Others said he would not last a week. Bala hated him the most. But while they mocked him, Nnamdi continued to observe in silence. Each evening, he returned to a small, hidden office Mama Ebel had prepared in the old warehouse behind the estate. There, he removed his disguise, reviewed his notes, and recorded voice memos of everything he saw. Amara, the kind cleaner, often greeted him warmly each morning, sometimes sharing a piece of roasted corn or akara. She treated him like family, not like a gate man. Meanwhile, Ngozi, Ojo, and Bala continued their arrogance. They would not even greet him, and sometimes, Bala deliberately left him outside the gate at lunchtime so he couldn't rest under the shade. On the 10th day, something unexpected happened. A young man wearing a faded shirt and slippers walked to the gate. He held a file in his hand and said, "Good afternoon, sir. Please, I came to submit my CV. I heard there is a vacancy." Nnamdi looked at him closely. His face was tired, but his eyes were burning with determination. "What's your name, my son?" Nnamdi asked. "My name is Chuka Okafor. I just graduated last year. I'm ready to work, sir. Any job." The chief tested him. "Even gate man work?" Chuka smiled. "Any work that will feed me and my mother." Touched, Nnamdi took the CV and promised to give it to Oga. But he also noted something else. When Chuka later entered to drop his file at the reception, Ngozi mocked him loudly. "You this hungry graduate," she said. "Even your shoe no get shine. Do you think this company is for people like you?" Chuka said nothing. He bowed slightly and walked away with dignity. Nnamdi clenched his fists behind the gate. He was beginning to see the true rot in his company. By the second week, Bala's corruption grew bolder. He had struck a deal with Ngozi and Ojo. Whenever trucks arrived, they would sign forged waybills, pocketing part of the goods and money. The poor farmers outside would never know the difference. They believed the old gate man was harmless. But he was watching like a hawk. One evening, Bala cornered Nnamdi behind the gatehouse. "Old man," he growled. "If you no join us, we go deal with you. We go make you disappear." Nnamdi pretended to cough. "I know they fear devil like you." Bala spat on the ground. "You go see." He didn't know he was threatening the man who signed his salary. That night, Chief Nnamdi sat alone in his private study, still in disguise. The moon hung low like a calabash of milk in the sky. From afar, the drums from the village square echoed. Someone was telling stories. He remembered one tale his grandmother used to tell. The tortoise once wore a ragged shell so that no one would fear him. The animals mocked him, but he saw their hearts clearly. And on the day of the feast, the tortoise removed his rag and revealed he was the king. A slow smile spread across Nnamdi's face. "They think I am powerless. But the day of the feast is coming." On the 15th day, Bala and Ojo planned something evil. They decided to make Nnamdi look like a thief so they could sack him. They hid company property, boxes of fertilizers, in a small store beside the gatehouse, then called security to discover it. "Papa Sunday is a thief!" Bala shouted when the box was found. Ngozi joined the drama. "I've always said this old man looks suspicious." A crowd gathered. Some laughed, some watched in silence. Only Amara stepped forward to defend him. "Papa Sunday is not a thief," she cried. "He is a good man." But Bala waved her off. "Shut up, cleaner. Who go believe you?" They dragged Nnamdi to the security office. But even in the midst of the mockery, he stayed calm. "The snake that pretends to sleep shall rise at dawn," he thought. The next morning, the company announced an emergency general staff meeting. No one knew why. The managing director said the chairman himself would be attending in person. Whispers filled the air. The chairman rarely appeared at ordinary staff meetings. Everyone gathered in the large hall, accountants, drivers, secretaries, cleaners, even Bala and Ngozi. They were surprised when a convoy of black SUVs arrived at the gate. Out stepped Chief Nnamdi, in his royal agbada and red cap. Gozi's jaw dropped. Bala swallowed hard. Then, to their greatest shock, the new gate man walked in behind him, without disguise. It was the same man. Papa Sunday was the chairman. Gasps filled the hall. Amara almost fainted. Chuka, who had come to check on his application, stood frozen by the door. Chief Nnamdi climbed the podium slowly, his walking stick tapping the floor like a talking drum. "You have all worked under me," he began, his deep voice echoing through the room. "But for the past 3 weeks, I have also worked under you." Murmurs. "I became the gate man. I saw how you treated those you think are beneath you. I saw corruption. I saw kindness. I saw betrayal. And I saw loyalty." He opened the torn exercise book and began to read everything: dates, times, names, crimes. Every bribe, every insult, every kindness. Bala tried to deny it. "Chief, I—" "Silence!" Nnamdi thundered. "You threatened the owner of this company, Bala. You are finished." Gozi trembled. Ojo tried to run, but security men were already waiting at the door. They were all handcuffed on the spot. Amara's eyes welled with tears, not from fear, but from shock and relief. When the hall was quiet again, Chief Nnamdi looked at Amara. "You gave me water when no one else would," he said. "From today you are promoted. You will no longer clean floors. You will work in administration. We will train you." Amara fell to her knees, crying with joy. Then he turned to Chuka. "And you, young man, who walked in with dignity despite mockery, your CV impressed me. But your courage impressed me more. You are employed as a junior analyst starting today." The hall clapped. Finally, he faced the rest of the staff. "Remember this: how you treat the least among you reveals your true character. A man's heart is not tested when the king is watching, but when he thinks the king is blind." Over the next few weeks, Okeke holdings changed drastically. Bala, Ngozi, and Ojo were handed over to the authorities for fraud. New transparent systems were put in place. Every staff member now treated the gate men, cleaners, and drivers with respect, because they didn't know who might be watching. Chief Nnamdi also started a new scholarship program in honor of his late father, giving opportunities to honest young people like Chuka. Amara became one of the rising stars of the company. But the chief never told anyone exactly how he had pulled off the disguise. It remained a mystery. In the village square, people would sit by the moonlight, chewing groundnuts, telling the story of the rich man who became a gate man. One cool evening, Mama Ebel sat with Chief Nnamdi on the veranda. "You did well, my son," she said, her wrinkled hands on her lap. "Now they know, power can wear rags and still be power." Chief Nnamdi chuckled. "Indeed, Mama. The tortoise taught them a lesson." She looked at him with pride. "This story will be told for generations." And it was. Power is not always loud. Sometimes it wears rags and watches silently. How you treat those beneath you reveals who you truly are. Greed may shine for a season, but truth will always outlive it. Even a king learns more by sitting with a gate man than by sitting on a throne. I hope you enjoyed this story. If so, please like the video, comment what you learned from the tale, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more enchanting tales just like this. Thank you.